Good morning, welcome, 1,000 welcomes, and we are meditating today on light of love. And so for each of us, we are inviting ourselves to directly feel the energy of light of love within ourselves. So we're beginning by connecting with the energy of the Advent wreath. And I would like you first to see if you can allow yourself directly to feel the energy of support and calm and strength that is given by connecting with the evergreen wreath. And so the evergreen wreath makes visible that life is ongoing. Even when the deciduous leaves have let go and fallen to the earth, the evergreen stands as a visible sign through the winters, through the snow, through the darker days, that life is present, life is ongoing. And so when we connect with the evergreen wreath, we are able to connect with calm and strength physically. And so I'm inviting each of us to feel that, the energy of calm and strength physically. Also allow yourself to feel the energy of calm and strength mentally. And allow yourself to feel the energy of calm and strength emotionally. Giving permission for the energy of calm strength to fill your life to overflowing. To allow yourself to receive that support, that inner assuredness and steadiness and security that comes from connecting directly with the source of calm strength. And I'm about to light some candles, so I invite each of us to connect with the light of hope, allowing the energy of hope, faith, trust to fill you. The light of peace, allowing the energy of calm, of poise, of steadiness, of ease to fill you. Connect with the energy of joy, the energy of delight. And for the first time this week, we're also lighting the candle of love, the light of love. So allow yourself to feel in every cell of your body hope, faith, trust, assuredness. Allow yourself to feel in your heart, in your mind, the energy of peace. The energy of knowing that in divine hands all is well, always. And allowing yourself to feel that utter glad relief of knowing that all is well always in divine hands. Giving our human questions and doubts and sadness and anguish and pain and stress and strain and struggle and fear to divine hands, allowing divine hands to carry it totally, and then feeling that relief, almost like tears stream down one's face when one realizes the divine is carrying all, always. And then naturally, the energy of joy, the energy of gladness, the energy of overflowing delight, curiosity, wonder, awe, magnificent, grand explorations in time and space and inwardly in our consciousness arises. And from that fullness, we come into contact with the energy of sweet, pure, divine love. The energy of our own selves, our own heart energy at its most sweet and simple and humble and pure and magnificent. And so if you like, you're welcome to keep your gaze gently focused on these lights and allowing those lights, that warmth, to fill you throughout the time that we're meditating together. I'm going to share some scriptures, some stories, some teachings, And I invite you to feel directly, as you listen, the energy of these scriptures and stories and teachings. So one comes from Isaiah chapter 60, and it's a wonderful invitation for all of us. Arise, shine, for your light is come, and the glory of the Lord shall rise upon you. So allowing yourself to actually feel the energy of arising and shining within yourself. The way the glory of the divine is here in support of each of us always. Definitely during the Advent season, and also always, every breath, every step, every moment, every heartbeat. This energy of arising, this energy of shining, this energy of divine glory and support is here. The passage in Isaiah continues, "Violence shall no more be heard in your land, nor spoil and destruction within your borders. And they shall call your walls salvation, and your gates praise." And so just notice that within each of us, we are invited to let go forever violence and destruction. Within each of us, we are invited to be the energy of peace, the energy of wholeness forevermore, laying down once and for all, forever, thoughts, words, or deeds that lend themselves to expressing or creating violence or destruction. Allowing ourselves to be peace in embodiment. Allowing ourselves to be the energy of wholeness, the energy of healing, which we share with ourselves and which we share with all when we have established peace and wholeness and the energy of healing within ourselves. "The sun shall be no more your light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light to you. For the Lord shall be to you an everlasting light, and the days of your mourning shall be ended." And so just see if you can allow yourself to feel grief and sadness and mourning melt away in this glory of the divine light, this everlasting light. Wholeness and ongoingness and connection is here. And so we are able to reconnect within ourselves with what is true, with what is eternal, with what is present always. And so we are inviting ourselves to feel that within ourselves. The divine shall be to you an everlasting light. And then we are inviting ourselves to live from that everlasting light. So a couple of stories which help us connect with what does this mean? Like in our daily life, how do we live everlasting light? And how do we live the letting go of violence? How do we live the letting go of destructiveness? And so contemporary stories, and the first one is just from a week or 10 days ago. And I don't know if you've seen it because it's been circulating within the last 7 days or so online. There was a little girl, 6 years old, named Madeline in LA County. Did anyone hear this story? So she wrote, and she asked LA County, "May I have permission to keep a unicorn in my backyard if I can find one?" So LA County, blessings to you, LA County, wrote her back. She asked them, please write back. They wrote her back, and they granted her a permanent unicorn license. And it's heart-shaped, and the color of the heart is like this rose red. So it's a rose, heart-shaped, permanent unicorn license. And they also sent her a plush starter unicorn. Because unicorns sometimes are hard to find in LA, apparently. So for each of us, we are inviting ourselves to connect with the truth of that story. So in the medieval times, the story was that unicorns could be seen by those who were pure of heart. So we are inviting ourselves to be so pure of heart that we are able to see the magic. We're able to see the awe. We're able to see the wonder. And so this is a story, like it's actually traveled across the globe, like it's been picked up in England among other places, and it's just causing like endless delight and joy that LA County responded in that particular way. They also commended her for being a responsible, prospective carer for an animal, and they said that she needed to be aware of a couple of things. If she found a unicorn, it required regular sunbeams, moonbeams, and rainbows. At least once a week, it needed to eat watermelon. And if there was any sparkles or glitter involved, it had to be non-toxic and biodegradable. And so each of us is invited to be that pure of heart, that we realize, and they actually, such charming timing, they presented her with the permanent unicorn license on her 7th birthday. Just so perfect. So each of us is invited to be both like that pure of heart child asking for a unicorn, and the wise, generous, joy-filled, adult, mature response, and the delight that pours forth when we see this kind of interplay, like the call and the response, and the way that that call goes forth, and the call can be met with such generosity, with such, just joy, like tears of joy streaming down the faces of each of us. And so for each of us, that's just a really tender reminder that we each have that purity of heart within ourselves, that curiosity, that creativity, that dreaming and visioning and imagining what's highest and best and most beautiful, most precious. And then each of us also has that amazing, kind, wise responsiveness so that we're able to respond with generosity and with such goodness, such encouragement, such strengthening words of wisdom and of faith and assuredness. And so each of us is invited to be that, to be both of those characters in that story. The second story is another true story, and it's one of those really heart-opening stories, so stay with me, because at the beginning it starts out in kind of a painful human way. It's a true story about a man whose dad left when he was just a boy. So it was him, 2 siblings, and his mom, and his dad left the family. And after his dad left, he had no contact with his dad for the rest of his life. And after his dad left, his mom was forced to give her kids to foster care. And so he grew up in foster care. He grew up never knowing his dad, and he grew up filled with anger at his dad. And so fast forward, he's now an adult. He's never had contact with his dad. He's filled with anger for his dad. And he gets this feeling that he needs to track down where his dad is buried, because word reaches him that his dad has passed away, and he thinks, okay, so maybe I'll be able to come to some kind of closure within myself if I find out where my dad is buried. And so I'm kind of condensing the story, but there's a series of what seem like impossible synchronicities that arise that allow him to find his dad's grave. And he finds his dad's grave, and again, stay with me on this. He starts off, he's so angry, he actually stomps on his dad's grave. And then he says, okay, Dad, the only thing I'm going to send you from now on is forgiveness. That's it. I'm done with the anger. I'm only going to send you forgiveness. I'm only going to send you love. And a feeling of incredible peace comes over him, and he says his entire life shifts after he leaves behind the anger. So he says, I left behind the anger, I left behind the resentment, I left behind the rage. So he had a physical transformation. Physically, he became much healthier after he did that. He had an emotional transformation. His relationships transformed and became much healthier after he did that. And he also had a career transformation. So all of a sudden, things became much easier. Success came to him much more readily. And so again, he was honest with himself about what he was feeling. He did not deny it. He allowed himself to feel his feelings and express them in a way that didn't affect other people. And then he allowed them to go. He allowed them to be laid down forever so that he stopped carrying them. And that's one of the wonderful teachings shared by Swami Nityananda as well, founder of this meditation community. He said, you can't carry pain into the kingdom of heaven. So the kingdom of heaven is here, it's present, it's available. One of the teachings from the yogic tradition is that we don't have to die to be in contact with the energy of the kingdom of heaven. It's actually a teaching shared by Jesus in the New Testament as well. Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is within you, and that phrase can translate also as the kingdom of heaven is among you. And so I'm inviting each of us, if you like, previously we were connecting with that energy of joy, so allow yourself to connect with that energy of, can I have permission to keep a unicorn in my backyard if I can find one? Allow yourself to feel that innocence, that sweetness, that joy within your own heart, within your own being. And then allow yourself to connect with that generosity of that response, which says, why, yes, you asked, ask and you shall receive. You have a permanent unicorn license. And then for you, chances are if you have been carrying grief, if you have been carrying anger or resentment or rage, it's going to arise from a unique set of circumstances. It'll be a different story than the one experienced by that man. But notice that it is possible to connect with that energy, any energy that you're ready to lay down. So any old energy or anything fresh and new that has been painful that you are working through. Energy of grief, energy of sadness, energy of resentment, energy of anger, energy of fear, energy of stress. Notice that it's possible to allow it lovingly to arise into the light. And as you do, it's possible to offer it lovingly to the light. And see if you can notice that you can entirely give the weight of it to the light. So the light carries all of it. And you can allow yourself to stand pure of heart and free of the weight that you have been carrying. And just notice what happens then. That energy of hope bubbles up naturally. The energy of peace and relief, of knowing that all is all right, all along. The divine is carrying all of this. I am safe in divine hands. Everyone and everything is safe in divine hands. And notice then that there's an effervescent feeling of joy that arises. And naturally and spontaneously, the energy of kindness, the energy of universal caring. So of course, caring for those to whom we feel close, those whom we find it easy to love and connect with, and also then expanding beyond that so that we have a universal kindness and benevolence and generosity and goodwill for all beings, knowing that whatever they are going through, at their core is light. At their core is everlasting light, the same everlasting light that is present by grace within each of us. And so when we connect with everlasting light within ourselves, we're also able to reach and connect with everlasting light within all beings, within all circumstances. And so that allows us to move in the energy of confidence, in the energy of grace, the energy of ease. Stamina comes to us, vigor, inspiration, insight, creativity, ingenuity, good humor, laughter, gladness. And so notice what it feels like in the heart of each of us to feel that in us which is highest and best. And to know this is of the energy of the kingdom of heaven. That in me, which is highest and best, is innocent and sweet and pure. And that pure of heart energy is what Jesus says allows us to see the divine everywhere. The pure of heart shall see God. And so we're inviting ourselves to let go of absolutely anything that blocks that purity of heart directly felt within each of us. Notice what it feels like to be so open-hearted. Notice that strength and courage arise naturally so that it's possible to move through the world guided, supported by this light, connecting with underlying light that is the foundation of all existence, so that it's not possible to walk anywhere in time and space and be disconnected from this everlasting light. So this everlasting light wakes us up in the morning. It looks out through our eyes. It smiles through us. It is the energy that feels anything we have ever felt humanly through us. And it is the energy that gives us the courage and the wisdom and the strength and the skill and the dedication and the steadfastness to lay down pain, to let go of grief, to release sadness and fear, to set aside illusion and confusion, to allow ourselves to stand in the light and be seen and known in the light. And see if you can feel what that feels like. The light sees all of us. If you allow yourself to stand in the light and be seen by the light sees and knows all of us. The light names us. The light cherishes us. The light gives us the good humor to accept wholeness within ourselves and to let go of anything other than wholeness. The light gives us awareness and understanding and compassion and insight. The light gives us absolutely everything that we need. So we are opening to receive that now in the quiet. And then to bring it full circle, I invite you to connect as we did at the beginning. Allow the light within yourself to be amplified 10 times. Just allow it to become 10 times brighter, 10 times more beautiful, 10 times more pure. And now notice it's possible, almost like you're taking a ball of light and throwing it to a friend. It's possible to connect with a light in everyone who is currently meditating. And just notice what it feels like to connect with a network of light. And now notice that in our connected, strong, beautiful light, we can radiate the energy of light in such a way that it instantly circles the whole planet. So allow yourself to do that now. Light going forth, and in a snap, in a moment, in a heartbeat, the whole planet is encircled by this light. The light goes all the way to the core of the earth, all the way up into the atmosphere. Feel yourself strengthened and renewed and revitalized and supported, known and cared for, named, greeted, honored, blessed, cherished by this light. And then allow yourself, if you like, to press the palms of your hands together at your heart and to feel what an amazing gift it is to be that light in this human body, living the life that you are living, a totally fresh, unique, unprecedented, precious, unrepeatable life. Every moment of your existence is sacred, is precious, is the energy of the whole universe experiencing through you what you are experiencing. Give such thanks that that energy of the light of love is here in you and with you, through you and as you. Everywhere that you go, this light shares through you. Silently, everyone that you encounter is greeted by this energy of light that each of us is always. Thank God, and God bless us all.